2 different top coats, and I'll do it on both of them. So I'm going to cut them both in half. So I have 2 of each now. On the first set, I'm going to use Fiebings Resolene. What this will do is it'll give us a nice, a fairly glossy finish, which we want. We want some gloss. Now you have to be careful no matter what finish you use, because these are acrylic finishes and the acrylic looks like plastic, and the more you use, the more plastic it looks. So it may be shiny, but it'll become less and less metallic. Brush it on. This is a very stiff brush, I forgot. I thought this was a soft brush. It's not. That may work against me. It may leave some streaks from the brush, but and then the same on the other one. Alright, and I'm going to set those aside to dry. I'm going to use Angelus 4-Coat High Gloss. This should give me the shiniest possible result, but the last time I used it on this one didn't come out too great, so this is going to be its last chance to tell me if this will work. First, Angelus on the Angelus paint. Now on this one we used the rub and buff, so we want to make sure that the rub and buff is going to stay put. But otherwise, this should pretty much work as advertised, because I mean we're doing exactly what they designed this stuff to do, so it should work. I'm going to set that aside. And now this one. Like I said, this did not go well on the other piece that I tried to do this on. Now the thing is, it went on fine and it looked spectacular, but didn't stand the test of time. Let's put it that way. I hate this brush. This brush is not, I mean, it's like a stick. I'm going to use this to just even it out some. I should do it on the other one, but I guess it's okay. Okay, so here we are. Now, I went ahead and added a second coat and then let it dry overnight. Let's start examining them one by one. So, first of all, this one is the Angelus paint with the Resolene finish. And it did pool a little bit. I should have soaked up the excess and I didn't. There's a mark there. It's a bit unfortunate, but in terms of the actual metallic finish, it looks pretty good. It's a little bit matte and kind of brushed looking like we expected, but it's a good result. It's not quite as reflective as the others, I'll tell you that now, but at the same time, it produces a pretty believable result. Now, the question is, how durable is it? I'm going to give it a bit of an extreme stress test. To bend it this way, almost in half, it looks fine having bent. There's no cracking or anything like that. And when I bend it back, there's no bunching up or any other artifacts introduced that way. There's a little bit now, but we would expect some at that extreme. How about the other direction? No cracking. In terms of glossiness, it's not super glossy, but it has some gloss. In terms of feel, it's just slightly rubbery, but it's not so bad. This is the Resolene over the glittery type of finish, and there's a spot right here. I caused that because it was pooling up just like the others were, and it was pretty bad, and I thought, well, you know, it's pretty liquid still. I bet I could soak that up. Every part of me said don't do that, and I did that, and that left a mark. So when that happened, it pulled off some of the rub and buff as well, I think. The Resolene seems to have brought back some of that glitter look that was just about gone. Now it looks like it's back. But it's not, like, it's still subdued. It's not as bad as, you know, when we first applied it, but it's not as smooth of a finish, I guess. Overall, it's a nice finish. It's quite reflective. Even with Fiebings, it's more reflective than the other one. I don't know if that really shows on camera, but it is. Overall, I like it. I don't know if I like it better, but I like it at least the same, and it's a different look. So I would look at these as 2 different tools in a toolbox as opposed to competing for best choice. It's definitely more reflective. The feel is similar, if anything, maybe just slightly more rubbery, but very similar in feel. So we're going to stretch it, bend it, and it's pretty robust. It's not cracking or breaking at all. This was our glitter approach, followed by the 4-coat. This is the one I expected not to work. I'll just say that straight up. You can tell where the rub and buff was applied, but only if you're looking for it. I think that the antique pass that we used to kind of darken the coloring, I think a lot of that was pulled up by the 4-coat and kind of pooled away. I think that's part of what made the glittery surface go back to looking glittery. I don't know if it's particularly present. It's a subtle difference. It's not a very strong one. I don't think it's my favorite in terms of look, but it's not bad. And it's very, very glossy, very, very shiny. The reflections are intense. If you look at it from an angle, I don't know if that shows, I hope it does, but if you look at my thumb on it, I think that shows, I mean, it's like, the stronger, I mean, of course, it's always the case that the more severe the angle, the stronger the reflection. But this one reflects, I mean, look at that. It's just straight on. So that's an incredible difference. Let's start bending it and see what happens. Oh, I can hear it cracking. It's cracking horribly, actually. Wow. Wow, look at that. Unusable. So over time, that's going to break down very, very quickly. You bend it back, all you see is these little lines. They look a bit like stretch marks, but we know better. You bend it the other direction. Oh, look at that. Wow. Wow. I think this one was perhaps the prettiest, certainly the most reflective, but also the least usable. I think that this only works if you can guarantee absolutely minimal changes in the surface over time. I think the only way you can do that is if you harden the leather first, and maybe not even then. You have to do some long-term studies. So that's the end of that one. This was the one where we painted on Angelus's paints and then added the high gloss. It's very glossy, super glossy. The high gloss definitely kind of adds a reflective element to it. Again, I don't really know if that's showing. I think it is. Yeah, it definitely adds a reflective element. I don't know if it's a metallic reflection. It almost looks like a slightly metallic surface that's been coated. Well, it has been coated, hasn't it? It kind of looks like it's a coated polyurethane type finish over metal. I like it. Pros and cons, again. It's definitely more reflective. It's definitely more plasticky looking, though. But from a distance or from most angles, that extra reflectivity that it adds, I think it helps sell the illusion. So I guess I'll let you be the judge, but I think I like it. I think between the two, I would probably go for the Angelus. But it's definitely got a bit more of a plasticky look when the light is hitting it just right. And actually, it's cracking. Look at that. It's cracking pretty badly. That's interesting. Huh. And as I really make it extreme, it's cracking a lot. In fact, it's flaking off. I can pick that off. Look at that. They say it's not supposed to do that. They say it's flexible. What have I done differently? Apply evenly and allow to dry. I don't think I did anything wrong. Well, that's a result. It's not one I expected. I don't think the rub and buff is causing this because it's not evenly applied evenly enough. There's areas where there is no rub and buff and the cracking is occurring everywhere. It may be to do with the leather that I was painting it on, but if it was, Resolene seems to have no problem with it. And you know, I can tell you, Resolene just feels more supple. This one's definitely got a thicker feel to it. If I bend it the other way, yeah, sure enough, it cracks in the other direction. Now I got all these little squares everywhere. Yeah, they flake right away. I just pulled some of it off right there.
Okay, so you may have noted some surprise when I was testing the forecoat on the Angelus paint. The reason for my surprise was because I actually did that once off camera and it worked fine. So for it to flake away like that it really caught me off guard. So I was thinking, I did pretty much the exact same thing, so what was different? And the only thing I could think of was, because I'm doing it on camera, I'm trying to do things in kind of a compressed timeline. Maybe I didn't give enough drying time. So what I've done is I've created two new pieces. I gave these a full day for the paint to dry and a full 2 days for the gloss finish to dry. So they should have had plenty of time. Now the other one, with it flaking off of the glittery finish, that one didn't surprise me. That has happened every time I've tried it. It doesn't like that kind of a surface. So I didn't redo that one at all. But in this case, what I've done is I've created two new pieces, Angelus paint exactly like shown before, and I've also done it on two different types of leather. This is the waxy pull-up, and I'm wondering if the waxes may interfere with the finish. Maybe this leather doesn't work well with that kind of finish, which wouldn't be surprising. And then I used a natural tan because this one, there's no reason this one shouldn't work. And basically we just want to see if when we bend it, it's not as bad, but yeah, it is exhibiting some cracking. Yeah, that's starting to flake away now. So it doesn't like that one at all. This one should have the best chance of working, so let's see. That one's doing okay, I think. Yeah, that one looks good. I don't see... If I really stretch it, okay, now I'm starting to see some breaks. But I mean, that's pretty reasonable, I think. It doesn't need that kind of stress, typically. Even that's looking all right. So that pull-ups, I guess leathers with lots of oils, probably all finished leathers in general you don't want to do this with. That should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody. But natural tan leather seems fine. I think it'd be interesting, but still probably not effective, to try using a deglazer on this first. They do say you're supposed to. Now it's starting to kind of wrinkle because of the stretching. That's fine, but it's holding up well enough, I think. So this is probably the best finish if you're going to use the high gloss coating. I'll reiterate once more that Resolene had no problem with any of the finishes, including the glittery one. So if you want to go the glitter approach, use Resolene. Let me know if you find another finish that actually works well with any of these. But if you're going to use paint, then as long as you do it on a natural, unfinished leather, you should have no trouble using any of these.